All right, boys, this is going to be a trade breakdown on how I made around $3,000 today trading the NASDAQ. I'm going to be going over the model slash confluences that I use, how I got my buys, how I got my entry, and my TP. I'm not going to go into full depth model, but hopefully this does help you in your next trade, in your next session. So, first things first, directional bias. I don't care to look for a trade if I don't know where we're going and where we're headed. Directionally, you can see we're staircasing down, right? This is the first thing I'm looking at when I open my eyes, when I hop on the chart and I'm analyzing. Today is actually a perfect example of that because I woke up late because my phone died while I was asleep, hopped on within 5 minutes, analyzed all of this that I'm going to tell you. First things first, direction. Where are we heading? Direction down. What makes me say that? Besides the very obvious trend right in front of your eyes, it's a method that I call staircasing, right? I use my personal indicator that I've made that shows me this. But also, if you don't have the indicator or any indicator showing you, it's fine. Just look for the trend of the market in front of your eyes. All right. But let's just use the indicator. We could see we're making OBs and RBs going down, down, down. Now, obviously, while we're going down, we are disrespecting bullish OBs and bullish structure. Therefore, I want shorts, right? Okay. Now, where are we going? At time of open, I'm looking for at least London low or New York open. Now, I'm going to replay it a little bit here. And I'm going to take us right to the open. Okay. I did wake up around 10:20 today and still managed to catch this trade. So at open, I'm looking for shorts. Was not awake, but at open, I'd be looking for shorts on a staircase, continuing lower to take out some of this liquidity. I'm using the 15-minute, 1 hour. Yes, you can use standard deviation. This is an hourly leg that I had on my chart right here, telling me that the draw is lower, especially after breaking -2, continuing to break structure to the downside. So what am I looking for? Staircasing down, looking for shorts. Okay. In this 15-minute, we want to find a standard deviation leg to help us find entry for shorts. So this is our micro model, right? I see this clean last leg here, right? I'm not going to draw this entire leg because I'm not looking for a short at all-time high. This is the last manipulation leg before we continue going higher. So that's the leg I have. Now we're going to zoom into where I actually was. So we can even recap the open. What happens at the open? We immediately shoot up with no bullish overnight news. Now, there was news about the Iran war and the ceasefire being over. That is all bearish. That's this reaction. At open, we shoot up straight towards previous day close. That is the strongest local draw on liquidity. That is the strongest key open slash key close. And we are instantly hunting it. That is also known as your regular trading hours gap, RTH gap. With it, we can see we have a 15-minute OB. So this is our last step in the staircase. Meanwhile, New York Open does not have a low. We have a tiny little wick. That is not a low. We have not formed a low of day. We have all this low resistance liquidity that I'm looking to get swept. Okay? I was not awake yet at this point. You can see now we finally actually tap into that C of the 15-minute. 15-minute OB. We also have a 5-minute, which is a very good 5-minute here. London high. And we leave that 5-minute RB. We're playing around with it. I'm still not awake until 10:20. Let's skip to 10:20. 10:10, we break structure. At this given time, mind you, I'm analyzing this within 5 minutes that I got on the chart. All right. that given time is showing me we are not looking for higher structure, and we're actually about to break down to the downside and start developing a low of session, low of New York. Because we have a low of day here, we have not set a low of day during New York session. There is no reason for us to just open and shoot up because news is not pushing that narrative. Okay? So 1020, I'm considering all of this max expansion. We're not seeking liquidity higher. We are going to make lows. We leave this 5-minute RB as well. With that 5-minute RB, I am looking for the slightest reaction because this is in my head, I have already missed the trade. So now we're going to go down to the 1 minute. The 5-minute RB closes this candle, right? Realistically, this would have been a solid trade from entry. So like first tap of the RB, but I am not going to put a 60-point stop. And from CE is where I'm going to be attentive because I also don't want a 32-point stop. Now, the safest stop if you are going to enter CE, just this wick high, 27, 25 points, something like this. I was still in a daze, but I did not want to miss this trade. All right. So I want to see at this point, I want to see a reaction to CE. On top of that, we also made a fresh 15-minute OB right here that we're also delivering into. To back the trade up even more, we tapped into 10 a.m. 10 a.m. opened, delivered down, retest, and new day open with SMT. If I see any reaction, I am instantly taking it. I really wanted to limit CE, but this entire thing has happened within 5 minutes of me hopping on the charts. No caffeine in my system, scrambling to get out of bed. And it's still just as easy. Everything I'm telling you does not need a lot going into it. This candle now, it doesn't seem like a lot. Let's go into the 30-second here. This candle immediately rejects. So this to me is a market order confirmation. That is where I end up market ordering once we actually reject, which is a very rare occurrence, but it is still valid considering the fact that we have not broken any highs. And it looks like we are not planning to at any time soon. We've created engineered liquidity down here for New York Open and for lower, right? So I have entered here. Now, I TP'd early by TPing New York Open for a guaranteed profit. The clear draw are these two lows. You might be asking why. Again, we just have low resistance liquidity during this entire move here. We have no low of day, and I don't think the low of day is going to be a tap into New York or a tap into this RB or a tap into the 15-minute OP. If I was awake any longer, was caffeinated, had a good morning, my TP is going to be down here at these lows. Now let's see what happens. TP on New York Open. We still are not respecting any bullish structure. We create this 1-minute RB. We don't care. We don't react. And then we just start slowly delivering down till TP hit. Now let's say we did actually stick to our long range TP, right? The reason is, again, low resistance liquidity, looking for a sweep. We're rejecting these highs. I can expect us to at least deliver to another extreme sided PDA. This PDA here in the middle, made a 50-minute OB, is not an extreme side PDA. This would be more for continuations, higher. I don't think we go higher. Then we have these two lows, relatively equal. They are not equal, but they are relatively equal lows. Damn near. That reacted off this fair value gap. To me, that is not actually supported. We are not supporting that low. And I think we are going to go to opposite side extreme PDAs for support. Let it play out. We do get this reaction here with SMT, but we're not interested in that. We end up mitigating the 15-minute OB entirely, drinking its liquidity. We come down souping these lows, right, into this 15 and 45-minute OB. And that is what we react off for the rest of the day. So this would have been my ideal TP. It was not. And overall, this entire trade was fairly simple. We could call it a bit of luck that it didn't deliver without me, because realistically, this should have delivered sooner once we broke this low here. But thankfully, it actually ended up playing out perfectly, because we do want that low broken for confirmation to actually enter anyways. Plus, it gave time for AM session to develop. We ended up getting 10 AM out of it, a brand new 15-minute OB. This was overall the better trade. You could have taken the 15-minute OBC, sure, putting your stop again up here at this high, 22 points, and you would have had a much nicer trade. I was not awake. On top of that, the indicator also signaled a B standard setup way earlier, which you would have taken here, stops at this high, 15 points, and had an even greater trade. That wasn't the case. We ended up catching the trade for 140 points from where we took it. Right here to this low here, 142 points. I really hope this does help you. These are concepts and models that we teach in the Discord every day, which I will be putting in the link below. Same as the indicator. I hope that next time you get into the market and you're looking for a trade, you're keeping one of these in mind, right? Again, trade with the trend, look for staircases, wait for a pullback, continue until we hit a draw. Pay attention to the micro models, right? And just trade in the same direction. If you do not see anything, stay off the charts.